Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. Today we have a story from a man who had to experience what no parent wishes to experience around his or her child. Mr. John tells us about how his only daughter died and what he did afterwards. Why he sent us this message is not for us to judge him or anyone involved, but then, according to him, he wants the new generation, especially the ladies, to learn from what happened to his daughter. As part of our policy, I've edited the names to hide the identity. If you have any experience that you would love to share with us, please don't hesitate to contact our admin through the email address, ihaveaconfession1010@gmail.com. Without wasting much of your time, let's go and listen to the story.
Hello brother, for the sake of this letter, just call me John. I don't want to put my real name out there. I do not want to bring back old wounds, since maybe a family member might chance upon your video. I have a confession that I want to share with you, so you can also share with the rest of the world. My reason for sharing my pain with you is that I hope the youth out there who might be watching your video can take something out of this. I am a South African, but I live here in Ghana. When I first came here to Ghana, I was living in the capital city Accra. But because of my work, I had to move down here to the Volta region. What I am about to share with you is my biggest scare. It does not relate to my work. I wish I would lose my work and have my daughter Bata back in my arms. I loved my daughter very much. She was the only thing I had here, aside my business. My pain is something that I wish no parent will ever go through. I raised my daughter all alone, because her mother, my beautiful wife Monica, died when giving birth to her. So, she left me with our baby. I took it upon myself to raise the child all by myself. This is because, when at the hospital bed, my wife before she passed on, asked me to raise our child and protect her at all cost. And I wanted to keep the promise I made to her on her hospital bed. My wife was a Ghanaian, so, my daughter sometimes would go and visit the family members of my wife. But she spent almost her entire life with me. My daughter Bata was my wife, my friend, my mother, my sister. She was my everything. Sometimes, she would call me daddy, other time too she would jokingly call me my boyfriend. That was our bond. We were that close. Bata would tell me practically anything. I remember sometimes, she would come and be like, I have met a guy. Before I go ahead to do anything good or bad, I want to know if you will accept him or not. Then we will all laugh and I will advise her on how to go about her relationship and all that. That is how we've lived our lives until this period that I wish never happened. What happened was, my daughter had completed university. She attended University of Ghana Legon. And she was doing her service, where she was supposed to have her service Accra, and so, she needed to rent an apartment. So, I will say that, apart from school, this was the first time she was going to be all by herself. So, Bata got an apartment in Accra, and started her service together with one friend called Naomi. Naomi used to visit me with Esther when they go on vacations during their time in the university. So, they decided to rent and share the apartment. I was okay, because, at least someone that I know is with my daughter. The service was to last for a year. So, sometimes I visit them when I go to Accra for business meeting or as something related to my business. But then in about 7 to 8 months in their service, I realized how my daughter used to talk to me has changed. She sometimes can go a whole week without calling. This was not the Bata that I know. Sometimes, even when you call her too, she will not answer. And when you get her on the phone, she will give you plenty explanations. So, when it happens that way, I will call Naomi to find out if everything is alright. Naomi is just like a daughter to me, so I knew I could count on if I want to know anything concerning Bata. One day I called Naomi from morning till the evening, but she didn't answer. This was after I had not heard from Bata for close to 2 weeks. The next day, I got a call from Naomi, telling me that she has something to tell me. She said that she loves my daughter very much, just like a sister, and that she does not want to lose the bond between them. I asked her why she was talking that way. Her answer to me was that, my daughter Bata is angry at her for the fact that Naomi tells me everything that is going on in their lives. So, she would prefer if there is something that I want to talk to Bata or find out anything, I should wait till I hear from Bata. When she was talking to me on the phone, I heard Bata at the back yelling that she is a grown-up lady and that I should leave her alone. So, I asked Naomi to give her the phone. When she was given the phone, I pleaded with her that it will never happen again. But then I also asked her to be calling so I would know that everything is going on well with them. She agreed to do her part and we ended the call. Her behavior of not calling continued. But then I felt she is grown now, so I should give her space to live her life. Even when you text her, she will return your message maybe a day or two. This continued until one day, I was at home in the evening when Naomi called me. Her voice was shaking. I asked her the problem and she told me that she cannot say anything on phone to me. She pleaded that I come to Accra the next day to see something. So, early in the morning I was on my way to Accra. I got to where they live and I was shocked of what I saw. Before I go ahead with it, apparently, Bata has been having water coming out of her private part. So, they thought it was some infection which they went for drugs at the pharmacy. But then, they said, it kept flowing and it became intense. So, they went to the hospital to check. The doctor checked her and told her there is nothing wrong with her, but then asked her to stop the drugs she was taking and gave her some drugs to be taken. But then 2 days after they went to the doctor, she started seeing these white small animals like worms coming out of her private part. So, on the 5th day, that Naomi asked Bata to call me but she refused. What happened was, Naomi sneaked out that evening to call me to come the next day. My only daughter, someone who could tell me everything in her life, is now hiding this thing from me. I started asking her what I did wrong for her to be behaving this way towards me. But all this while, she never spoke a word to me. She was just looking at me, whilst I was talking to her. I asked Naomi to pack some of her things so that I can take her back home. Naomi said she will follow us. So, we returned to Volta that evening. When we got home, I called Naomi out and started asking her to tell me if she knows anything that Bata might be hiding. She said, the Bata that she knew, was no more the Bata now. She said that, Bata does not tell her anything with regards to her life again. This was strange. She said that, the only thing she know about and know for sure that I don't know is the boyfriend that Bata now has. So, in the morning, I went and did my consultation. This consultation, I went to a traditional healer. He threw the offer and revealed to me what was going on with my daughter. He told me that someone has gifted my daughter something huge. And the person has used the gift to exchange the life of my daughter. I wanted to find out who the person was. But then, he said my daughter needs to tell me some things herself. He went on to tell me that, if I don't rush in trying to save my daughter, and find out what was done from her, so we can reverse it, she will never make it.
Please kindly subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. I do pray that we learn from some of these stories and live a better life. If not for anything at all, it pays to live a decent and better life. As the saying goes, all that glitters is not gold. We should be content with what we have and strive to make it through a decent means. Get a job as a lady, work and make sure on your own you build a life that you can be proud of. Look at this man had to see his only daughter go through this pain before she passed on. The trauma that he will be going through. I can only imagine. Please, as young girls and guys, let us see the value of life and live according to the principles that govern us as Africans. As I always say, we are not here to race with ourselves. Therefore, do the little you can and ask your Creator to bless your handwork. Please let's be mindful of the choices that we make. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share. See you again in the part 2 of this video. Stay blessed and be safe.